Welcome to another measured Kool-Aid report, and today we dealing with the topic of picking your poison in the cornerback room. And we're going to go through this with the film because see, the key is that you're not hearing a lot of people talk about is the massive amount of ball skills that's in the Dallas Cowboys cornerback room. It is massive. So, but just put it like this. Did anybody add up the amount of interceptions between Bland, Trayvon Diggs, and Gilmore over the last 2 years? Put it like this. Those three guys combined got 23 interceptions between those three guys. And you not hearing that many people talk about that. So we go deal with it, and we go deal with it with the film, and we go deal with it everywhere. But first, I want to deal with one thing. It's a lot of people keep asking about is, Gilmore washed, and obviously that's coming from a lot of haters, right? So when you break it down, the first thing I want you to notice is that DaRon Bland, if you look at it, when he was targeted, he gave up 71.4%. Trayvon Diggs, when targeted, gave up 64.7% of completions. But Gilmore only gave up, when targeted, 56.2% when targeted. So the data clearly shows between the three that Gilmore is the least washed of the three when it comes to coverage. But the most dangerous guy by far is easily Diggs, because it's based on his massive ability to get the ball. So as we break down his film and look at his film, looking at 2021, one of the things that's obvious to him is he has a very natural instinct for the ball. So obviously he was tested greatly in 2021, but the tests obviously went south in 2022, where they stopped targeting him altogether. But when targeted, it was nobody in the league better at getting interceptions than Diggs. So I know a lot of people like to knock him because he missed the tackle in the playoffs, but this is the thing that I want to highlight right here that you don't see a lot of people highlight: his ability to read three steps. So I'm gonna break this down. So one of the things that you see and you don't hear a lot of people break down is when a cornerback is reading the drop of the quarterback. That's called reading three-step. You have to really trust your discipline to do that. And because with most offenses, the progression of the receiver is dependent upon the feet of the quarterback. So as defensive players, we are taught to read the drop back of a quarterback to determine what route is likely coming. So if it's a three-step drop, you're likely going to see somebody stop, or it's going to be a slant, or it's going to be something short. So you can see here, Diggs reads the three-step, he sits on the route, and he breaks on it before the receiver is even coming out his break. And he does that even against Philly. Even better against Philly, you see him read the three-step. He's clearly breaking. If you look at it again, he's clearly breaking before the receiver. Just watch him. If you watch it closely, you'll see he breaks. Now, who's already breaking? And why did he do that? Diggs was able to break because he read the quarterback and he anticipated and beat the receiver to his spot for 6. I'm still trying to understand how there are some Cowboy fans who don't want to pay this level of skill, but that's on you. I say you pay that level of skill quickly and in a hurry. And I would rather teach you how to tackle than to try to act like it's easy to replace this type of phenomenal ball skills. But see, this is the issue when you're dealing with Diggs, who we know clearly becomes the receiver. He clearly becomes the receiver. And I talked to Everson Walls, and one of the things that Everson Walls told me is, because I asked him, I was like, what's going to get these guys to get the ball like you? He said, man, I played receiver. So whenever the ball was in the air, I considered the ball like it was mine. Well, that's the same thing with Diggs. Ex-receiver converted to corner. So when the ball is in the air, he has a receiver mentality. He go attack the ball with receiver hands. But see, after 2021, obviously what happened is it was less targets of him in 2022, which left a void on the defense. So it was a lot of targeting of Anthony Brown vertically. Everything short, Anthony Brown did a pretty good job on. But vertically, he had one issue. It was tracking the ball. Tracking the ball vertically is what was hurting him in the 2022 season before he was injured. So then obviously it began to be musical chairs where they began to give their other guys a chance, like Kelvin Joseph. We saw Nashawn Wright get a chance. And it was obvious doubt because teams was doing what? Attacking the other corners. And it makes sense. You go away from the guy that's gifted at getting the ball. There's no doubt. It's easily that anybody with common sense would take a Diggs over even Byron Jones back in the day. Why? Because even though Byron Jones could cover, he sucked at tracking the ball and he sucked at attacking the ball, which made him, in my opinion, not worth the top dollar for corner. Because a corner is dangerous when they can get the ball. It is nothing really scary about you being able to cover. It just make it hard to do stuff against you. But what makes it hard and scary on the offense is a guy that can get the ball. So we saw the musical chairs of 2022. And we did a lot of shows on it. It was really called a battle of cornerback 2. Really, it was the battle of cornerback 3, because cornerback 3, most people didn't say this, but the real cornerback 3 was Bland. 2. He was cornerback 2. Like a lot of people say it was a battle for it never was a battle for cornerback 2 once Bland established himself. Why? Because when the Dallas Cowboys would go to a base defense, the starting corners was Diggs and it was Bland. So a base defense is when you only have 2 corners on the field. A nickel is where you have 3. A big nickel is where you likely have a safety playing that third DB role. The big nickel is where you have like a hybrid. So sometimes nickels can be safeties as well. Dime is where you have 4 DBs or corners. And sometimes it can be a mix of safeties depending on the offensive package. So that void that came from people trying to go away from Diggs is now done. And we are truly in a pick your poison situation with Gilmore, and it is outstanding. Because see, the thing with Gilmore is, Gilmore is extremely smart. So now when you try to go against Diggs, you still running into more poison, and a type of poison you cannot avoid. See, last year teams had success going away from Diggs. Now there's pausing around every corner. Speaking facetiously, but literally there's pausing for opposing offenses around every corner. What can you do now if you're a quarterback? What you gonna do? You trying to avoid the lava? So what you gonna end up doing? You gonna end up jumping into fire, because that's who Gilmore he is fire. So if you try to go away from the lava, which is Diggs, you are going to run into the poison of fire on the other side. And it's just going to naturally happen. And you talking about by completion percentage measurement, we talking about a guy with Gilmore who literally had by the percentages better coverage than Bland and Diggs. That's him breaking up the ball and basically shutting down Jefferson one-on-one. So what are opposing teams going to do now? There's literally no answer. Because then you will say, okay. We can go away from Diggs. We can go away from Gilmore. Let's attack Bland. No, that would be even dumber. Yeah, because it's pausing everywhere now. Even, I ain't gonna even talk about Jordan Lewis, but there's literal poison around every corner for opposing teams. There's nothing a team can do. Bland could be your worst decision if you're a quarterback. Why? Because he actually specializes in takeaways versus interceptions. See, most of his interceptions, he took it. See, he took that ball right there from the receiver. It's clear. So that's one takeaway. Let's count all of them. Let's see how many did he literally take from the receiver. That 2, took it out the receiver's hands, battled better than the receiver. Here we go again. Took the ball again. That's 3 for 3. This might be the only pure interception that he got, where the ball went straight to him. He didn't take that one. He just intercepted the ball. But the rest of them was clear takeaways. This is probably one of his best ones, where the receiver clearly has the ball, but he wanted it more and he took it. So if you add it up, we have 4 takeaways versus 1 interception. That is very dangerous for any quarterback. So what you gonna do? It's nothing you can do against the Dallas Cowboys secondary now. Not even counting what's going to happen in terms of these guys with their coverage ability being able to buy our pass rush time. It is truly poisonous what's going on and what will go on. And what's amazing is you're hearing very few people talk about the pick your poison cornerbacks. Because if you're looking at it from guys who can get the ball, there's no better 3 in the entire league. There's no better 3 secondary. If you counting corner 1, corner 2, and corner 3, please don't say corner 4. don't count J. Lou Ball God who catches everything. Don't do that. If you count the whole secondary room, it's clear that there's no better poisonous cornerback room in the entire league than the Dallas Cowboys. So it's just interesting that you're not hearing a lot of people talk about it, especially from 4-letter networks, because they always trying to downplay the greatness of the Dallas Cowboys. Even when we clearly have something great, they always treat it like, it's... Yeah, that's the spirit that you see when you watch people talk about it. But anybody with common sense who in 2 years, literally this same cornerback room accounted for literally 23 takeaways. I don't know how that's not clearly the best cornerback room in the league. And let me ask y'all a question. When do players usually make their biggest jump? Between what? Year 1 and year 2. So what's likely getting ready to happen with Bland? You gonna likely see an upgrade. So I just don't understand the wee-woo of why this cornerback pause in this room is not getting rave reviews in terms of its danger to quarterbacks. It is just pure wee woo.
Oh, you see this guy? See this guy? Number one bullshit guy. He do the wee woo.
But you came to the right place, because Boss Cowboy ain't going for it. I ain't gonna let y'all go for it. So if you like this type of content, first of all, make sure you hit that subscribe, because we're gonna be doing a lot more film breakdowns and stuff like this, where we're showing by the film what's coming. Because obviously we spend a lot of time fixing problems and talking about things that can be in the way of a Super Bowl, but we're going to occasionally take a break and talk about the greatness of this team and what's in front of us. And this pick your pausing is nothing to play with, and I'm gonna tell you right now, it's likely not gonna be stopped. So if you like this type of content, you make sure that you subscribe, like, and share this content and put it out there, because see, you're not gonna hear this type of stuff from the major networks. They not gonna break down the film on these guys and the data on these guys and tell the truth. They're going to inflate it into drama, because drama sells. But y'all stay with Boss Cowboy Sports if I give y'all more measured Kool-Aid reports and film breakdowns on what's likely getting ready to happen. And they gonna show you, I'm almost certain they're gonna show you these three. If we smart enough to pay Diggs and get that out the way, we're going this DB room and cornerback room is just too much pausing in terms of the ability to get the ball. There's no way of getting around it.